What's happening, everyone? This is AskCross, and of course we have a weapon comparison today. And well, with all weapon comparisons, it is always one of those things where you just have to weigh the pros and cons against one another. Now today we're going to be looking at two exotic shotguns here in Destiny, Invective versus Universal Remote. Now the things to take aside real quick right off the bat is one is a primary weapon, which is Universal Remote, and Invective is a secondary weapon. So as you know, just going right off the bat, the pros and cons of that is, well, of course, the secondary weapon will have lack of ammo. That primary, of course, will have more ammo. As you know, since the most recent patch with the ammo reduction on secondary weapons, they have reduced ammo for things like shotguns and fusion rifles. So being able to run around with your secondary the entire round, or in a crucible round in any match, rumble or clash or control, is a lot more difficult than what it used to be. So Universal Remote already, and just from the beginning, already has that pro about it. But we're going to take a look at some quick gameplay and then brush up on the perks, guys, afterward. I'm just going to show you exactly what the weapons is. You just saw what they did just a second ago. You saw where they each one was kind of ahead, and as far as range goes and rate of fire goes. But at the end of the day, what we try to get down to is which one of these is the better weapon. Alright guys, we're going to jump straight into Universal Remote and go over again the pros and cons of each one of these weapons. But starting off with Universal Remote, the thing that really take note of about this weapon is, again, it is a primary weapon. So that means since that patch, it is not affected by the lack of ammo that weapons like Invective and other secondary weapons are affected by. So you will be able to run around with a shotgun. If you're one of those types that just loves to run around with a shotgun for an entire match, then Universal Remote can fulfill those needs for you. Now, I will say on paper though, it doesn't really beat Invective in many areas at all. Actually, the only areas that it really beats Invective at is it actually just has a little more accuracy that beats them in magazine size, and then that's about it. It doesn't have nearly as much recoil, 60 recoil compared to 70 on Invective, and of course that normally means it has a little more accuracy to it. But other than that, on paper, it doesn't beat Invective in any way possible. But it is very easy to see that when playing with Universal Remote, there seems to be a much easier flow to it. I don't know what it is about it, other than the fact that it doesn't have the rate of fire of what Invective does have. It just seems to have enough power and enough kick to do the job and do it well. So what are the pros about Invective? Invective, again, like I said, it can be fired in full auto. The downside of that being only 4 shots in the magazine, 4 in reserve, it definitely bleeds through it very quickly. Now the Invective upgrade itself regenerates 4 shells every 20 seconds. Now I know that's every 20 seconds, but I feel like here in Crucible they've actually either doubled that, because I didn't notice it nearly as much ammo regeneration as I used to. Since that patch 1.1.2, there has been a lot of ammo reduction. So there was a lot of times when playing with this weapon that I realized that I was just clearly out of ammo. It's still a great weapon. It does a wonderful job. I mean, to me, it is probably the best shotgun in the game. But simply because of that ammo reduction, there's not as much stuff you can do with it. You can no longer run around for an entire match with this weapon. So let's look at it on paper. We got Invective versus Universal Remote. As you can see right here, Invective comes with solar energy. Universal Remote only has kinetic damage type. And then that's in the green. You can see where each one trumps. The red is where it's less than that. And as you can see, Invective really trumps majorly in those areas. You know, it's I don't know why I got the zoom red on Invective, but anyways, regardless, you can see where each one of them stands with one another. And well, the thing is, Invective looks like a more impressive weapon on paper. So what we have to decide here is which one is the better weapon. I mean, you've seen it for yourself. You've weighed the pros and cons. You know what each one of these weapons can do. You know that Universal Remote has that perk, that Universal Remote perk, which is so key. It gives bonus accuracy when aiming down the sights and gives increased range. I mean, there's a lot of good things about Universal Remote. It also comes with crowd control, things like that, that makes it such a good weapon. I mean, these are all things that really increases its ability to kill, man. I mean, and I love the ease of use. It also comes with Hammer Force, giving you that plus 40 range. So I don't know, I'm a huge advocate for Universal Remote. I guess because a lot of people didn't really like Universal Remote when they first got their hands on it. A lot of people put it down simply because it is, yeah, it's a primary shotgun. It's different, and I know that it is a little different. Now, the thing about Invective that's so impressive, it comes with field choke, of course, and that does increase range as well. It's also full auto. That's really nice. It's the same reason why everyone loves like Found Verdict and any other full auto shotgun. It's really nice. It comes with final round as well, which gives you, of course, that increased damage of the last round of your magazine by 33%. That's really nice. And then the Invective perk giving you ammo regeneration, which is really nice. The thing about it is, and again, back to that Invective upgrade, it actually says it regenerates about 6 shells every 30 seconds. I feel like a lot of that has changed though, so it's only so, like, I only have so much information on that. Just know that it doesn't really regenerate as fast as it used to, especially in Crucible, simply because they have give that ammo reduction. So I don't know. I mean, if I really had to sit down and tell you which one of these weapons is the best, even now, even after spending many hours playing with each one of these weapons and using them and having good matches with both of them, it really just comes down to preference. It comes down to what kind of player you really are. Do you want to run and gun the entire round with a shotgun, or are you a primary weapon user and you just want to have a shotgun in your back pocket for those up close and personal situations? That's what you have to decide. If you got blink and you love to blink around, and you love to get in people's face, and you love to just shotgun the entire round, then Universal Remote is for you, and it can fulfill those things. Even though on paper Universal Remote lacks what Invective has to offer, it makes up for it in that Universal Remote perk, makes up for it with Hammer Forge. It has things and like crowd control. It has things that makes it such a great weapon. It is an excellent weapon. There's nothing bad about Universal Remote, and every match I've ever gone into with it, I've done extremely well with it. Invective though, if you're one of those types that love primary weapons, you love to sit back, you love to use your primary weapons like me, and I do like to use my primary weapons, I always do, then Invective would probably be your choice, simply because you're not as dependent on shotguns as those other people are. You know, you're not needing it as much. I mean, you're needing it for those situations when you got a bunch of people coming in, and if you do have those situations, 2-on-1 situations, Invective is that weapon. There is not a faster rate of fire weapon than Invective, or at least from my knowledge, there is not a faster rate of fire weapon, and it is an extremely fast rate of fire, and you can go into those situations, those 2v1 situations, and come out alive and win on the other side of it. So guys, that's what you got to really come down to decide, is what kind of player you are and which one of these weapons can fit your situation, and a lot of times that can change from match to match. Guys, I hope this helps you out. I'll catch y'all later.